How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rowlett, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some Pokemon rumors, leaks, that kind of stuff. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get started. So today, we're going to start with this account that showed up a while back, which basically posted a bunch of these 3D images of quote-unquote gameplay from Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, the thing is, there are a lot of ways to debunk a lot of these posts, but I thought it would be fun to go through it anyways, because there's a lot of stuff in here that, you know, a lot of people think could be real. I think it's most likely fake, but it's going to be fun to go through nonetheless. So you guys can see there's a lot of posts, a lot of things to go through. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. First things first, this is posted by an account called PocketOku. I think that's literally it. Yeah, PocketOku. They only follow one account, which is the Rowlett Herald. He's the only person they follow. So maybe the Rowlett Herald is the actual person who makes those. I don't know. Which I should probably give him a follow. Fuck it. But yeah, so they're the only person that they follow, actually, is the Rowlett Herald, which is very specific. But let's go through the actual posts here and see what's in here to be found. First of all is this 3D image of what seems to be the characters choosing a Pokemon. It seems to be either a cutscene, but again, the one thing that stands out to me here as, like, possibly making it fake is the fact that the grass looks a little bit too, let's say, Unreal Engine-y. If you guys know Unreal Engine, it's the engine used by or made by Epic Games who make Fortnite and so on and so forth. But it's like a very high fidelity, looks very, like, you know, very good graphically type of engine. But the grass kind of makes me look like, it makes it look like it's like, you know, like it's that. Also, the text that's included with this says meeting. So I guess the meeting with your starters. There's also a fan fee on the side here. Which looks fine. Nothing about it stands out necessarily in a bad way. But yeah, like, it's something about it just, you know, feels off to start with. Moving on, though, we have this thing right here, which is some information they say. I don't know why they said it here in Japanese. I don't get it. And then why it's here in English. But here's what they said. Some information I have. This is the first Pokemon game in which the opponent chooses the starter first. Afterwards, you can choose between the remaining two. It is not confirmed in the game itself, but by the design of the environment, we can confirm that it is. Plus, as close as possible to the Parisian aesthetic of the 70s. The initial three starters are Snivy, Litten, and Piplup. Again, those starters make sense. They don't sound that crazy. Sounds like in the, again, realm of possibility, if you want to put it that way. Again, doesn't sound crazy. That's the biggest part. It just doesn't sound crazy. However, the idea of us not getting to choose the starter first, that's BS. There's no way that they wouldn't let us choose the starter first. Like, that's just something fundamentally Pokemon about choosing your starter first. Like, that's just always what you do. And it makes sense, because otherwise, you're not choosing, you're being forced to pick between, I mean, yes, you're still making a choice, but you're no longer choosing between the three. You're just choosing between two. So there aren't three starters. There are only two starters because you don't get to choose one of them. And also, how is that determined? How does the actual person you're up against, the rival, how do they determine which starter they get? Like, how is that even chosen? It's really odd, but I don't know. Either way, they say the game begins in the gardens of the Pokemon Laboratory when the protagonist is called Professor Bouvier. Bouvier. Which sounds a little bit like, sounds, I guess, French enough, yeah. And also, that's the last name of Marge Simpson from The Simpsons. So yeah, we have a female rival. Apparently, there is no male. Her name is her name is Chloe, and she's a famous young model. And then they include, like, this 3D, like, render of sorts. I don't really know, of a gem. Again, I don't know. But again, going through most of this, the biggest issue here is the actual starter not being, like, chosen by you, the player, like, you not choosing the starter in the beginning. That's just not realistic in any way, shape, and or form. Like, there's no way in hell that that could be real. Like, I'm sorry. There's just no way. Like, choosing the starter is one of the fundamental things about Pokemon. It's something that you just have to do. It doesn't make any sense to not include that. Like, that's just it doesn't sound real. However, moving on from there, though, we have PocketOku, again, posting another post. And this one is just translates to underground. And this is supposed to be an underground area. As you can see, what we see here is we see a tunnel of sorts. We see some text on the wall, which I don't know what that translates to. Maybe like the station name or something. We have a Toxicroak chilling down here, some Murkrows, and oh geez, I forget his name. Oh geez, Toxel is the mini form. I don't remember what it's called anymore. I literally forget the name of it. But yes, we see two Poison-esque Pokemon down here. The shadow of the Krogunk is a little bit odd. It's like too deep almost, or too good. Like, that's the one thing about Pokemon games. They don't look graphically good. They are always relatively shit. And again, this the problem with this is it looks too good to be a Pokemon, like, screenshot. Again, just looks too good. It's just, I don't know, man. It just looks too good to be real. Then the next thing, though, we have is this right here, which is just a random Japanese street. Same thing here. We have a little, like, field on the side here. We have some, you know, just, again, Japanese, like, you know, shops and corner shops and stuff like that. Again, nothing crazy. Kind of reminds me of Persona 5 or something, which, again, doesn't seem, like, realistic either. It seems, like, a little far-fetched. I think there's even some stuff that we can, like, look at that maybe debunks this right away. This one does look pretty clean, though. I'm not gonna lie. This version of, like, Lumio's Tower, just, like, an image of Lumio's Tower like this looks pretty freaking good. Again, I doubt it's real because of everything else being posted by this person being fake, but I doubt this one's real either. Again, the tower looks good. Like, there's no question about it. It does look good. Like, 100%. But, again, something feels off about it. Then they continue on, and they have this right here, which is, I think, a logo reveal of Legends ZA. Like, some kind of, like, you know, like, it's a DNA, like, it's a piece of DNA being kind of spliced together, and then it kind of turns into, like, that's actually a cool transition. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is one of those things, that actually does look relatively realistic, but at the same time, it's not impossible to make these kind of things, okay? It's not impossible to make a animation like this. It's very easy to just, you know, make it yourself. Like, let's just be real here. It's very easy to actually just go and create this on your own. And also the fact that the person links this to a bunch of people like Riddler-Koo and Poryleaks and all these people is what makes it even less likely to be real. But let's look through some of the other stuff that's being mentioned, which is facts about the first trailer. We'll only be able to play in Lumio City, but this city looks huge compared to X and Y. Okay, that's kind of to be expected with this game. That's, I think most of us expect that to be the case. Anything else than that, and I feel like then I would be a bit pissed. Many more streets, entrances, places, bridges, and what looks like tunnels. We see the female protagonist choose her starter in the laboratory garden. Okay, so we see the female protagonist choose her starter in the laboratory garden, and apparently the many more streets, entrances, places, bridges, and what looks like tunnels. And then they say also they look like descendants of Sina and Dexio. Apparently, Professor Bouvier is very similar to Lysander, but with short hair and freckles. Apparently. I don't know. Fair enough. The game does not appear to be running on Switch, a big graphical change from previous installments. Huh? In the trailer, then I'm guessing what he means here, that the game is not running on the Switch in the trailer, because it's gonna be on the Switch, okay? There's no question about that. But apparently it's a big improvement in quality, graphically, apparently. The Pokemon seen in the trailer are Snivy, Litten, Piplup, Fido, whatever you call them, Fletchling, Toxtricity, that's its name, Gogoat, Golder, Murkrow, Toxicroak, Lotad, Flygon, Alternate Buizel, Duraldon, Carbink, also an alternate form, and Cerulege, another armor. I think, honestly, I do think we're going to get more forms of Cerulege. I think the, like, not Cerulege, but like Armorogue and Cerulege. So another evolution for, geez, like, I forget the name, the little Squire Pokemon. God, how do I forget the name so fast, man? I'm getting old. Point is that I think we're going to see another form of the armors, right? I definitely think in the future we're going to see that. And why? Because it feels like something that they would do just because they did that with Eevees and stuff in the past, so why wouldn't they do with this? And I think they should. It's a cool Pokemon. And again, includes the logo thing here again. Moving on, we have this screen right here, which is, I guess, a battle, perhaps? There's a really, like, kind of, again, a lot of issues with this is that the graphics kind of look a little out of place and not properly lighted. The only thing that you could argue, you know, against, you know, for this is you could argue that this is early in development or some bullshit, but like it just looks too like look at the shadows on this thing. They're too deep on this one, but not deep enough on this one. Like it looks too much unlike a Pokemon style. The character model does look fine though, but it just something feels off. And then they also included this, which just says a link. And I guess they're talking about a connection between these characters and whatnot, you know, and then, of course, all the other stuff that's in, you know, X and Y. Moving on, though, they have this image, which is a combination of a bunch of stuff. We have a Litten close-up, which is, I mean, again, there's some text underneath it. Maybe it's supposed to look like a cutscene, but honestly, it's not hard to get a model of Litten and just shove it in. Like, I mean, realistically, it really is not that hard. Like, I'm gonna be 100%, like, up front with you guys about that. Like, let's look up Litten 3D model. Like, if you just look it up, it's really not that hard to do. So here we go. We're going to open up this profile on one more time. And here we go. We got to go to Sketchfab. You see what I mean? Like, you can find 3D models of, here it is, Litten. There you go. Like, realistically, it's not that hard to actually find. Like, look, like, is this the same exact, like, one? Like, sure, this one looks a little bit better on theirs, which, yes, if you have a little bit of knowledge of, like, 3D work and you can work in, like, you know, specifically, I guess, Blender and programs like that, or even Unreal Engine, you could probably recreate this. The character model does look pretty clean, though. I'm not going to lie. It looks pretty neat. And then there's a bunch of pictures here on the wall of, like, sketches of Pokemon, like, you know, Charmander or whatnot. There's also a weird-looking thing in the bottom here. I don't exactly know what that is. Maybe a Furfro. And then that's about it for that. Just a few images on the walls. And then here, what they say is the following, which is, there are two dealers on this... Wait, there are two dealers on this issue. The only ones who sent me 100% official material were Leaker, who sent me the Gomazu images, the Prison Tower images, and this one. The rest were fake, and he blocked me. I can state with certainty that all the material I've been uploading from now on is taken directly from the official game. So he's saying that this stuff that we're looking at right here is actually official, but that some of the stuff is fake, which, you know, all the images I'm going to share with you are taken from official sources and are from a reliable leaker. Yes, him. I'm happy to share any questions you may have. And then somebody asked, like, will there be a trailer in August? New Mega, question mark. He says, we have no idea when the trailer will be released. We can't upload the whole trailer in good quality to avoid problems. Anyways, in the video properties in MKV, you can see the following, 2024-8-27. It still doesn't have to be the date of the trailer release, though. So he's saying it's going to be releasing on the 27th of what, August? Then he also says, somebody asked, like, data placeholder, because Pokemon Presents are usually held before the World Cup. Or the World, you know, the World Championship in Pokemon. Worlds ends at August 18th. We assume the new things will be shown, but if the trailer date says 27th, we assume the Pokemon Direct will be announced at the Worlds the following week. The trailer will be shown there. And yeah, that's that. And somebody says, is A legendary? No, there are no legendaries or Mega Evolutions, only new forms. At the end of the trailer, you see a silhouette, we suppose, of the legendary. It is not Zygarde. It did different cry. Then it says, about how long is the trailer and about how long before X and Y does it appear to take place? It's 2 minutes and 21 seconds. I have no idea. I would guess about 200 years. When the distributor sends me a fragment of the company demo where there is initial gameplay, I will post it here. Why is Prison Tower so small if the city is supposed to be way larger now? Perspective only. By the way, Prison Tower will apparently be built from the beginning of the game. Do the graphics look good? It's difficult to tell from these pictures. I'm very surprised by the visual quality compared to Scarlet and Violet. It increases a lot. It's not hard. I think the trailer is not recorded on the Switch. I think it's on the Switch too. Somebody asked, were there any Osmio, sorry, actually, asked this. Gen 7 to 9 Pokemon in the trailer. No answer on that one. What does the latest evolution of Piplup look like? And then, yeah, they didn't, you know, nobody, like, you know, like, he didn't answer. This individual didn't answer anything further. Now, I'm going to leave a like on this just so I remember this actual post, because I just want to come back to it. Because the only thing that you have here is literally just En Okumiyare City Pocket Monsters, and that's it. The person, like I said, only follows one other person, and that's the extent of it. There's not much else to it. There were a few other images, I will tell you right now, and I might talk about those in a different video, that, like, there are more images that were posted, which I've already kind of like, there was one of them that we straight up debunked, with the help of you guys, as well as the help of, like, some other people. Let's see if we can find one of those posts. I think here, Uridan, yeah, so... Here, Uridan actually debunked one of these images. So, for example, one of these was the Poke lids, which they use, like, which are seen on, like, the ground here, which are a special campaign held throughout Japan as part of the Pokemon Local Acts campaign. And then also it says, why even try to put this, buddy? You're easy to debunk. And then, of course, he debunked, like, that there was a character art. This character art right here, that's a fan art that was used on one of the walls. So, it's a little bit iffy. Some of the stuff does look a little bit different than each other. Like, not all of these screenshots look identically similar in style. Like, I feel like the Litten one is the only one that looks, like, aesthetically different to me. And even, like, this one of the character here than any of the other ones. Like, these actually look different. But I don't know, Chief. I'm going to be real with you. I don't think this would be necessarily real. Like, I'd love to know what you guys think about this, because I personally don't really know what to tell you. Like, I don't think this is necessarily real. But, again, anything is possible, right? Like, we are talking about a lot of possibilities here of this, you know, could be real, could be fake. We literally just don't know. That's the issue. We straight up do not know. And again, like I said, you can easily, like, get your hands on models like these and just shove them into your game and whatnot, so it's not that crazy. However, we do have something else to talk about, though, moving on from that, which is we got ourselves another rumor on 4chan. And again, these are, I mean, honestly, at least the other guy makes images, so these are definitely a little less trustworthy because there's nothing here to prove anything, but I thought it'd be fun to cover the actual post nonetheless, which is from Anonymous, posted, I think yesterday. It says, August 8th, we'll see a trailer for Pokémon Legends ZA. The presents will not be on this day, though. Interesting. So he says there's going to be a trailer on that day, but there's not going to be an actual Pokemon Presents on that day as well. It's going to be just a trailer and then it presents later on. Okay, I'm guessing. Source working on marketing for the game described to me what they saw from the what they say from the trailer. Okay. So, apparently not much gameplay is shown, but they do reveal the starters of Snivy, Torchic, and Piplup. Again, Snivy is always in there, I've noticed. Like, Snivy's in every single one of these posts. Torchic is usually there as well, and Piplup is kind of a toss. Actually, no, Piplup is always there, and Torchic is a toss. 3 trainers are shown around a picnic table, choosing Pokeballs. So, when they say picnic table, it just reminds me, I guess, of this right here. Is this post supposed to be like a reference to this? Is it supposed to connect these two and make this one seem more real? Because that's the vibe I'm getting. And this is a totally separate rumor, by the way. This is just posted on 4chan, and I just found it, and I decided to cover it. But it does seem a little bit, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little iffy, okay? It's a little iffy. Not gonna lie, it's a little iffy. But, you know, anything's possible, okay? Anything is possible. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's read through the rest of this. I'm going to also take a look at some theories from one of our viewers. So, apparently, not much gameplay shown, but they do reveal the starters of Snivy, Torchic, and Piplup. These 3 trainers are shown around a picnic table, choosing Pokeballs. Okay. It cuts to a trainer, possibly not the protagonist, riding a Rhyhorn. Wait, Rhyhorn? Oh, wait. Okay, that's fair. Through a grassy field with trees around them. You can see Wild Flabebe and Floette along with some Skiddo. Okay, that sounds relatively realistic. Doesn't sound, again, too crazy. I can imagine, like, us just seeing a character, you know, running around in the world. Apparently, the next shot is to a battle in a very modern-looking city. Okay. A Prinplup is seen battling against a Meowth. It appears as if the trainer can move around and battle. That would be great. Please bring back movement during battles. Please, that was amazing in Legends Arceus. Like, don't remove that. That shit is so good. The next shot is the battle of a very modern-looking city. A Prinplup is battling against a Meowth. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That sounds a little sketchy to me. That sounds a little bit sketchy. Let's go find that original post and see, like, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Yorudan had a bit of a thing to say about that. Wait a minute, because that sounds very similar to, like, this post right here. So, yeah, like, it just reminds me of this image right here, because here we see a Prinplup battling a, for the love of God, I cannot remember, like, Starland? Dude, I literally forget these names. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I literally cannot remember a single Pokemon name. But yeah, so basically, it's not a Meowth, though, okay, but it does sound oddly similar to what we're just hearing. Against a Meowth. It appears as if the trainer can move around in battle. That's good. Like I said, I would please love for them to return with this and, like, keep this in the game. This would be fantastic. And they say, though, that icons on the screen include 2 health bars, a tools-looking icon, and your Pokemon displayed in the bottom right, like in PLA. So, fair enough. Icons on the screen include 2 health bars. Fair enough. A tools-looking icon, and your Pokemon displayed in the bottom right, like in PLA. Okay, cool. Now, Trainer has a Braixen and a Gogoat. There's a Mega Evolution symbol near your Pokemon, but it is grayed out. Okay, we see a little more of the trainer walking around and running through the city, and it looks massive. Okay, that'll be good. That's the same thing the other posts said. Buildings are very tall. Many shops and alleys are past. Murkrow are flying overhead, and some perched. Some are perched on lampposts. Again, a lot of Murkrows. Same thing as these posts right here. If we just scroll down again, right? Like, just scroll down. There it is, Murkrows. You know what I mean? Like, it's very specific. It's like, maybe it's because I just looked at all these images, and now I'm looking at this post, and I'm like, this seems very too correlated. Murkrow flying overhead, and some are perched on lampposts. It seems like you can throw Pokeballs to catch them from there. There are more shots of a trainer crouched and walking through different wild areas. Okay, that sounds fair. Wooded and snowy. Noivern seen in the snow. So, okay, we get a wooded and snowy area with Noivern seen in the snow specifically, and also us just walking through different wild areas, which, fair enough. I mean, I'm expecting us to get wild areas in this game. Like, straight up, no question about it. It then says the following, which is the conclusion of the post, which is Zygarde is not seen in the trailer. That's fair. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to keep him out, but also, it's like, if he's in or if he's not in, it doesn't really make a difference. Zygarde is not seen in the trailer. It ends with a fade to black, and then what appears to be the eyes of Xerneas and Yveltal, one right after the other, and then fade to black, and the Mega Evolution symbol is shown once more. So, straightforward, not too complicated, that's pretty nuts. And they say, we'll share more if they tell me anything, but that's it for now. So concluding this post, just going through it really quickly and seeing some of the stuff here. Again, August 8th doesn't sound crazy, sounds realistic. August 8th, if we look at like next month's schedule, August 8th is on a Thursday. That's a fair enough day for Pokemon reveals. So not that crazy. I still think August 7th would be better, but I also don't think it's going to be early in the month. I don't think it's going to be early August. I still think it's going to be middle or later out into August. But everything else, relatively straightforward and doesn't sound too far-fetched. It sounds realistic, but again, it is a rumor post, so I wouldn't take it as end-all, be-all reality. But next up, though, we're going to be taking a look at something from one of our viewers, George, who sent this my way. So he basically has a bit of a theory about specifically what the actual next Pokemon is going to be for, the starters, in specifically Legends ZA. So possible Pokemon for Legends ZA, the only starters that do not appear in raids are Feraligatr, Torterra, Infernape, Serperior, and Incineroar. The three last ones that do not appear in the Terra raids would be the starters of the Pokemon Legends ZA game. So that's a bit of a theory that a lot of people have had, but again, we'll see. So basically what he says here, though, is that the regional, and this is literally his words, the regional forms of the starters will be based on French myths and folklore. For Torterra and Infernape, there's nothing for connection, so the starters would be Feraligatr, Serperior, and Incineroar. So he starts with Feraligatr. Now, Feraligatr, back in 1984, council workers discovered a little crocodile living in the sewers near the Seine River in Paris, and apparently putting a dent in the local rat population. The crocodile was captured by brave workers, taken to the nearby Paris Zoo, then transferred to an aquarium in remote France, never to be heard from again. Okay, that actually sounds pretty cool. That actually sounds like a pretty cool story. Like, imagine a little crocodile just growing up in the sewers of France. Like, that sounds pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie. Also be based on a Mahwat. A Mahwat is a monstrous creature that makes its home in the Meuse River, sneaking through the Ardennes, right? So, you guys know the Ardennes. If you've ever learned World War II history, you'll know the Ardennes. A lizard-like amphibious... Actually, the Ardennes is not too far from me, actually. Like distance-wise, I could probably drive there. A lizard-like amphibious monster, the size of a calf. It runs back and forth on the bottom of the river from Ravine to Liege and back, and has been sighted at Ravine and Givet on a July 9th night in 1870. Its primary purpose lies in keeping children away from the water, as an aquatic boogeyman, I guess. It will not hesitate to pull in and devour any child foolish enough to play too near the, the Meuse. Then he continues on to Serperior, could be based on the iconic horned god, Cernunnos, which is favored by snakes as the sacred creature of his cult in Gaul and Bretagne. And then Incineroar, the final one, will be based on Matagot. The Matagot, or Mandagrot, is a household spirit or familiar that can take on the form of various animals, but is most associated with black cats. There are flurries of regional variations regarding names, methods, or acquisitions of specific behaviors. But basically, it's largely associated with luck and wealth, bringing coins each day to the owners who keep them well fed. So that would be for Incineroar, making it into a little money cat. And of course, you guys can see right here the actual images that explain these things, right? So Feraligatr will be based on this. The Mahwat is a monstrous creature, again, and also the story about the crocodile in the Paris sewers, which sounds pretty freaking lit. Then we also have the Serperior could be based on, right? So again, typing-wise, grass poison, grass dragon could work. Moving on from that, we have this right here, which is Incineroar, possibly a fire ghost type based on the Matagot or Mandagot. And that pretty much summarizes those. There's also something else, like there could be a possible regional forms or whatever based on the Stray Sod. I don't know which Pokemon would actually turn into this, but it is nonetheless an interesting thing to share. Another possible regional fake is for this right here. This is for a weird snake, the Gilet Agui Serpent. I am horrible at French, so I'm sorry. But it's a small neighborhood in the small neighborhood of Gilet Agui in the Montbernage area of Poitiers. Was once witness to a reptile of extraordinary resilience. Yes, it's basically the snake, which you could, I guess, make a version of Sandaconda out of, right? Because it does look kind of like that. And then we also have a possible regional owl. I mean, this thing's got a sword, for crying out loud. Eagle owls are impressive animals. As the largest owls, they are top predators in the environment. So we could definitely get an owl. I mean, dude, an owl with a sword would be lit. Dude, I love owls. I mean, my mascot's a freaking owl, dude, so I would take it. There's also another possible regional form and fake, which is this, the Rubeast. So we could easily get another, form of a dragon that's on that. We could also get a Starmie form, definitely, or a Stella or a Sea Star derives its name from its unusual appearance that resembles a painted star. So you got that one. Again, there's a lot of these that have been shared with me. And, let's just go through the last two, because we got, I think 2 or 3 more. Another one would be these, the Fayetis, or little fairies, living in the Forez region in France. These ones could also work, and you guys can see he's suggesting that maybe it could be a replacement for one of the Pokemon like Excadrill that is owned by none else than Lacey. So maybe it could be a hint towards, like, Lacey was a hint towards that. At least that's the suggestion here. Then we have a possible new form could also be for the Voivres, a great fiery serpent of France, have been reported primarily from remote mountainous regions where they haunt springs, wells, caves, deep ponds, and ruined castles. They're known for the oh my god, I'm not gonna read that. Franche-Comté or Savoie, the Jura Mountains and neighboring areas with possible relatives to the Aosta Valley in Switzerland. The word voivre is derived from Latin vipera or viper. So I guess, again, a viper. I guess you could take Dragapult, maybe? Could work with this, like get a new form for Dragapult. And then I guess the final one we have is this right here, which is possible region forms. Gligar can be seen as a counterpart to Sneasel. Both of them have 2 types, which can cause them to have 4 times weakness to another type. And they have the same base stat total, evolve into Pokemon that were introduced in Generation 4, so Gliscor and Weavile, and do so by leveling up at night while holding an evolution item whose name includes the word Razor, Razor Fang, and Razor Claw. Additionally, both are available as Shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Colosseum and found in the Under Subway. So, good point. Is it possible that we could be getting a Gligar evolution? Frankly, I would love that. A new form of Gligar would be sick, just like we got with Sneasel. I think that actually would... Out of everything, this actually genuinely is the most realistic thing to me out of everything I've read so far. But again, anything and everything is possible and not possible, so we're going to have to wait and see if anything comes up from this. But for now, though, that pretty much summarizes that. And guys, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this giant profile here. What do you guys think about it? Can you agree with me? It's probably fake. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to believe some of it is real, but another part of me that's like, come on, we gotta be realistic here, right? But then again, I'd love to know what you guys think. And also, what do you think about this rumor? Let me know. And what are your thoughts on these theories about the starters being based on these things from France? I'd love to know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and bye-bye.